series of presentations, I will take you on a journey for defining the various operational metrics for the ITIL processes. What we will do is we will consider a perfect situation in an ideal world and then compare this ideal world with the reality. The deviations would be where we want to focus, and this would also be the parameters for our operational metrics. So let us start off with change management. The objective of change management is to create a formal change management system through which we manage changes. We are able to approve changes, review them, prioritize them, and release them in a streamlined manner so as to cause the minimal effect or disruption on the production systems. So let us consider the perfect situation in an ideal world wherein we have 100 RFCs waiting for execution in a defined time frame, and we are able to successfully execute these changes, all 100 of them, in that defined time frame. So we had 100 RFCs to be implemented in a defined time frame and successfully implemented in that time frame. This was the ideal world. In reality, things will be much different, as we all know. So in addition to the 100 RFCs, we have 5 emergency changes. And we have 3 unauthorized changes. So these 2 are the input parameters for the first 2 operational metrics. We want the number of emergency changes as a total percentage of the RFCs to reduce. And so is the case with the unauthorized changes. We want the number of unauthorized changes as a percentage of the total number of changes to reduce. In fact, we want the unauthorized changes to be 0. We don't want any change to be implemented without the change management system being aware of it. Excuse me, allergies, sorry. So we want that this 2 parameters as a trend show reduction as we mature in ITIL processes. Now we have 108 requests for changes which were supposed to be implemented in that time frame, and we were successful in implementing only 88 of them. So this determines how good are we, how efficient are we at handling our changes. And we want efficiency of handling of changes to improve as we mature. Of these 88 changes that we implemented, let us assume that 80 were successful. And when I say successful, it means that they did not cause any incidents and we did not have to roll back any of the changes. Five were successful but resulted in causing incidents. But in this case, we did not have to roll back because we could manage the incidents. And then there were 3 that were not successful at all. We implemented and the incidents were severe that we had to roll back to the previous state, or we could not implement them at all because we identified that they would cause serious problems. So these 3 are the next parameters which would help us define our operational metrics. So the successful changes as a percentage of the total RFCs that we were supposed to implement would be the parameter for how effective are we at implementing changes. Number of changes that caused an incident as a total percentage is something that we need to track and ensure that it reduces with time. And the number of rollbacks is the next parameter that we need to track and ensure that this as a percentage reduces. So effectiveness, we want efficiency and effectiveness to increase, and then we want the number of incidents that number of RFCs that caused an incident to number of RFCs that caused incidents to reduce, and the number of RFCs that had to be rolled back to reduce. 3 additional parameters that we need to monitor are: what is the total effort involved in implementing the change, and by that we also determine what is the average effort per change. The second last parameter that we need to monitor would be what is the average time taken to implement a change. In both these cases, the total effort we want to reduce as we mature, and so is the case with the average time taken to implement a change. And the last parameter that we need to monitor and measure is our process maturity and the tool that we are using for change management, the maturity of the tool. In this presentation, we have defined the operational metrics for change management. So if I were to sum it up, it would be efficiency of change management, effectiveness of change management, reduction in the number of emergency changes, reduction in the number of unauthorized changes, reduction in the number of changes that cause incidents, reduction in the number of rollbacks, the total effort taken to implement the changes, and hence the average effort per change, the average time taken per change, and our ITIL change management process maturity and change management tool maturity. Thank you for listening, and please be back.